America has intelligence that America has intelligence, not our own intelligence, but they have lies fed to them by Israel. That's the new intelligence, in case you don't know. That's what she's referring to there. We have intelligence. That's not intelligence. That's propaganda that the Mossad and Israel told some advisors to President Trump. So I just want to remind people, this is what Tulsi Gabbard used to say before she joined Trump's team and switched everything she was saying. Here.
President Trump says that he doesn't want war with Iran, but that's exactly what he wants. Because that's exactly what Saudi Arabia, Netanyahu, Al-Qaeda, Bolton, Haley, and other neocons and neolibs want. That's what he puts first, not America.
Do you remember? That was Tulsi in 2020.
No, I don't remember. No, I don't.
Do you remember? So that's why she had my support. That's why I supported her when she ran for president, because she told the truth about Syria. She told the truth about the wars in the Middle East, regime change wars, and she was against them. In fact, here she is testifying just a few weeks, a month or so ago in Congress, and she's going to tell you that Iran does not have a nuclear bomb. It's their assessment, the intelligence community's assessment here.
Iran continues to seek expansion of its influence in the Middle East, despite the degradation to its proxies and defenses during the Gaza conflict. Iran has developed and maintains ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, and UAVs, including systems capable of striking U.S. targets and allies in the region.
Yeah, U.S. targets. You know why? Because we have 1 million military bases surrounding Iran. That's why. It would be like if Iran had bases in Toronto, and we were like, "Hey, the United," that's what we're doing to them. If Iran had military bases in Juarez, and Mexico, and Toronto, and Vancouver, and Cuba, that's what it would be like. That's what we have surrounding, and more, way more.
They get bombed all the time in various things, but they only tell you about it when it serves their interest to expand a conflict.
Right.
That just happened under Biden, and they try to tamp it down that how many service people died. Remember that?
Yes.
Or Syria? So that, yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Iran has shown a willingness to use these weapons, including during a 2020 attack on U.S. forces in Iraq and in attacks against Israel in April and October 2024. Iran's cyber operations and capabilities also present a serious threat to U.S. networks and data. The IC continues to assess that Iran is not building a nuclear weapon.
Iran is not building a nuclear weapon. She said the IC, meaning the intelligence community, which she is the head of.
Yeah.
Director of National Intelligence. We have assessed they're not building a nuclear bomb. We're not. That's what we've assessed. They're not. They're not.
Jimmy.
They're not. Hang on.
And Supreme Leader Khamenei has not authorized the nuclear weapons program that he suspended in 2003.
So the guy who's leading the country suspended their march to get a nuclear bomb in 2003, and her own assessment is that he has not changed that. They've suspended their. They're not doing that. Let me play it for you again.
Supreme Leader Khamenei has not authorized the nuclear weapons program that he suspended in 2003. The IC continues to monitor closely if Tehran decides to reauthorize its nuclear weapons program.
But they haven't. So the Ayatollah is against having a nuclear weapon in Iran. So these are the things they don't tell you. Well, she told you there. She told you there, and Trump got upset. And then so people were saying, look at what she said, just because Trump came out and said, no, we've got new intelligence. But they don't have new intelligence. What they have is lies from the Mossad. So Israel we're going to get to that. So they don't have any new intelligence. This is weapons of mass destruction in Iraq all over again, 100%. because the head of the intelligence community in the United States just told you and told Congress that the head of Iran stopped their nuclear program in 2003, and he has not reauthorized starting it again. They're not doing that. They're not doing that. So they're just finding a lie that they can hoodwink enough suckers in the United States to go along with, people who pledge loyalty to Trump, which is ridiculous. You should pledging loyalty to a politician makes you a chump and a cult. You pledge loyalty to the ideas that politician is pushing or espousing, the policies. I used to support the policies that I was supporting Tulsi's policy of no regime change. And as soon as she flipped on that, I'm no longer supporting her. Same thing with Bernie Sanders. He was against corporate control of the Democratic Party and the warmongers who ran our party, the Democratic Party. At that time, I was a Democrat, and I supported his policy in that. I supported him and his policy. And as soon as he flipped on that and decided to support those same people who just cheated and lied to him, I stopped supporting Bernie Sanders. That's the logical course. So blind allegiance to a person, to a politician, is what they do in China, I thought. What they did in what they did in North Korea.
Yeah. That's what we are.
So if you have blind allegiance to Trump, you're no better than the people you claim to hate. You are that thing.
I don't think people have blind allegiance to Trump like that. I think they really wanted to get that going. And if you go on X, you'll see a bunch of people and they'll say something so stupid like, are you still with Trump? We need a Broderick. Are you still with Trump? I am. Are you still MAGA?
No.
Why are you asking me that, bitch? Why don't you ask Trump that?
Yes.
His whole thing was, I'm with you. Yeah. Hillary's an idiot for I'm with her. I'm with you. So why are you asking me if I'm with Trump? That's 180 from his appeal.
Right. It was Hillary Clinton who said, I'm with her. Now you're saying, are you with Trump? That sounds like Hillary Clinton sycophants and cult members. So,
that's our business model of America. It's called being an influencer.
So when people called Tulsi out and said, look, your own testimony in front of Congress just 5 minutes ago, your assessment was that the Ayatollah had stopped their nuclear development program in 2003, and he hasn't reauthorized it. And then Trump went batshit on her, and she completely flipped. And then she says the dishonest media is intentionally taking my testimony out of context and spreading fake news as a way to manufacture division. America has intelligence that America has intelligence, not our own intelligence, but they have lies fed to them by Israel. That's the new intelligence, in case you don't know. That's what she's referring to there. We have intelligence. That's not intelligence. That's propaganda that the Mossad and Israel told some advisors to President Trump. And we're going to get to that story in a second. And that Iran is at the point it can produce a nuclear weapon within weeks or months. Yeah, that's exactly what Benjamin Netanyahu has been saying since 1995. So that's the intelligence she's pretending that they have. So the most generous reading of what she's doing here is Tulsi's against this war, and she wants to make sure she stays inside the administration so she could argue against it. And if she leaves, it's going to be just nothing but people who are for this war. So that's the most generous reading you could give to this. Another reading is she just completely flipped because she doesn't want to lose her position. She completely flipped. That's another reading.
Know this term, right? The dialectic. Well, you just got dialectic.
You just got dialected.
Yeah, that's what it is. Dude, Top Gun came out how long? Oh, by the way, Syria, there were 2 earthquakes, weren't there, with a big family?
Yes.
Those are 4.
So let me just, so Aaron Mate breaks down what Tulsi just said. Tulsi is now saying that America has intelligence that Iran is at the point it can produce a nuclear weapon within weeks to months if they decide to finalize the assembly. She did not say that in her March testimony shown below, which I just showed you. She didn't say that then. I wonder why she didn't say that then. That's because it's not a U.S. intelligence conclusion, but intelligence provided by Israel. So she doesn't tell you that. So she's lying by omission. No U.S. intelligence assessment endorses the Israeli claim or the Israeli intelligence that Iran could produce a bomb within weeks. I've been told this by an insider source, and it's obvious from the way Tulsi words her statement below. If Israel tells America that Iran can produce a nuclear weapon within weeks, then yes, America now has that intelligence. That doesn't mean it's true, which it's not, or that America even believes it, which it doesn't. Moreover, let's pretend for a moment that is the Israeli lie of weeks, that they could have a bomb in weeks. Let's pretend it's correct. Note Tulsi's caveat, if she's acknowledging that Iran has not decided to build a nuclear weapon. That's because Iran has said it doesn't want one and is willing to commit to that in a binding deal. The one they were negotiating until Trump and Israel sabotaged it, and not for the first time. So when Iran says it won't do is what Iran says is it won't do is compromise its sovereign right to peaceful enrichment and to self-defense. Trump and Israel insist, by contrast, on an unconditional surrender. Iran won't surrender, and the question of surrender actually applies internally. Beyond Trump and allied Israel firsters, Israel first, does the rest of America, from the Tulsi overseen intel community on down, do they want to surrender its sovereignty to Israel leaders and their pro-war lies? That's the paramount question in these dangerous days. Well, the answer is yes. They've done so. Trump has done so. Tulsi has done so. Hegseth has done so. They're all doing so. They're all giving up their sovereignty to Israel. It's an unconditional surrender to Israel. We'll do whatever you say, and we're doing it. So this is exactly the same. It's almost verbatim the same playbook that George Bush and Dick Cheney did around Iraq. Donald Trump screamed about it on the debate stage at Jeb Bush. It's what started his movement. And here we are. He's doing the exact thing that he said we shouldn't do. That's how powerful the blackmail is that the Mossad has on our lawmakers. And according to Elon Musk, Donald Trump also. Elon Musk was the guy who tweeted that out. I didn't say that. And of course, there's credible testimony that Donald Trump did engage in illegal sex with underage people via Jeffrey Epstein. All I'm saying is it doesn't matter why Donald Trump is doing what he's doing as much as he's doing it. He's doing it. He's doing this at the behest of Israel. There's no doubt about it. Iran doesn't have a nuclear weapon, isn't a threat to the United States. And if they ever talk about Iran striking American soldiers, it's because we have bases all around their country, and we've set the Middle East on fire. We're the ones, again. Okay. So Tulsi, seems like Tulsi had the chat. And you can't expect an avid surfer not to flip-flop. Am I right? Come on, Kurt. Are you right?
It's just
So the potential incoming nuclear warning on Hawaii, that wasn't enough for Tulsi. That wasn't enough.
It was fake.
Yeah. This is the exact, again, this is within 6 months, Donald Trump completely wrecked his mandate. Within 6 months. He didn't bring free speech. He, in fact, brought in a new wave of censorship.
Oh, get ready.
He brought in a new wave of censorship. He created a protected class of Zionists, not Jews, Zionists. And just as the left called everything sexist and racist, and homophobic, he calls everything anti-Semitic. And now he's saying he's just gone to war with Iran. That's what that is. If you don't know what he just did, he just started a war. Now Iran is aligned with China and Russia. So, as Steve Bannon said, I'm pretty sure, I'm not misquoting him, that World War III has already started.
Yeah, well, they've been planning it since even before Top Gun Maverick.
That's right. They've been planning it since...
Trump was only fighting for a better spot for America within the New World Order, not against the New World Order. Okay? The New World Order, again, not a thing Alex Jones made up. A thing they've expressly talked about since before I was born. It's not made up. That's the goal. That's what Star Trek's about. Oh, if we just get past all the thing, we'll be in space eventually. And now I'm watching. How are people falling for this?
And that's General Wesley Clark. He gave us. They gave him that plan in September of 2001. He had that plan that was already in place. It's called the 7 Muslim countries that they want to overthrow. Here it is. And this is the Greater Israel Project, which aligns perfectly with the Project for a New American Century.
Oh, you don't say.
And so this was just like just like the Patriot Act was already written before 9/11. This was already in place. This has been in place for over 25 years.
Yeah.
So now Trump is he's not, no matter who you vote for, you get John McCain. No matter who you feel. So no matter what Donald Trump said on that debate stage and how they lied, now Trump is the one lying to you to start a war with Iran.
Yeah. Remember George W. Bush was like, we don't need all these wars? Just before we got 9/11?
Yep.
And had to go to war? I'm not that smart. Back then, I was like, no, it makes sense. You got to blow. I don't know anything about over there. I just want to do my job, and they have funny hats. And you make them all scared. You got to make them scared. I said, that's what I thought 20 years ago. Who's going to fall for this twice? More than you'd want.
Way more people than you think. Of course, the corporate media is. The Democratic Party is. They're all on board. Because no matter who you vote for, you get John McCain. Meaning, no matter who you vote for, you get a warmonger who's in the pocket of the military-industrial complex in Israel. That's what this is about. Come see us on tour. We're going to be in Toronto again, Red Bank, New Jersey, Northampton, Massachusetts, Concord, New Hampshire, Rutherford, New Jersey, Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.